Hey, Rigor here, Rigor's Garage in Boat Basin. Today we're going through this box of cables that I've got with the Yamaha outboards. There's a whole bunch of cables, gauges, something called a binnacle, which normally looks like a gear shift and throttle control. They call it a binnacle. And so I'm going through each one of the gauges to try to identify what cables and what equipment I have for the Yamaha engines. I need to figure out what I need to fix and what I need to buy. So anyway, this is episode 5. It'll be in 2 parts. First half on the control cables. Second half will be on the gauges and the smaller cables. So, hope you enjoy the episode, and welcome back. Thanks for watching. Well, what I'm doing is going to fix the broken wires in the cable, one of the control cables, and to this I'm using a piece of heat shrink tubing and a little barrel connector. They're like this. It's a butt splice where you crimp the two together and then you put the heat shrink over it. So I'm gonna cut this piece of heat shrink in half. And slide it over the wire. Here's the broken wire. And here's the little barrel connector. You slide it over the wire, and then you take the handy dandy crimper Oop, guess what? It came off. Didn't crimp it hard enough. I took and pulled on it, and it wasn't crimped hard enough. So we'll do this again. I'll put it like that. Crimp it again, and let's see if it's, yep, this time it's tight. Put the other one on. Pull, pull, pull. Great. And then we'll slide, at least I hope I'll slide the heat shrink over it. Yep. Okay, that takes care of that one. And as I recall, we had one other bad wire. There it is right there. It's the, I don't know if you can see it, the insulation's worn away. So what I'm going to do is take and cut this in the middle, and I got a little pair of side cutters. They're basically flat on one side. I'm going to take and put the heat shrink over it. Now let me take and strip the insulation off. In this case, the insulation doesn't want to come off with the wire stripper because it's kind of worn. Twist the wire. And these little things come in multiple sizes for different pieces of wire. Let me put it on here. I'm gonna splice it again. Let me get the wire in there. And where's the other wire? Here's the other one. Yeah, see the insulation kind of, it's worn, so the insulation kind of peels back. Well, let me see what the wire stripper, there's little wire stripper thingies on here. There we go. Okay, let's see here. Let's put this wire in, and then we'll crimp it. And then I move the heat shrink over it. Okay, what I've got is a little torch, and I'm going to do the heat shrink here very carefully. I could use a heat gun, but there's probably too much heat over a big area. So I'm gonna just go back and forth. And there we have it. The wires are fixed. Okay, next thing I'm gonna do is use a little tape. What do we got here? 3M tape. Hopefully this is the real sticky stuff. And oh, there it is. It does have an end. If you see, I'm using 3M tape, and I'm going to tape up the wires here just to bundle them together. Yeah, this is the 3M stretchy tape. And I'll take and cut it. Okay. Now let me tape the other side. Hang on. Let me cut the tape. And then I've got down here, now the interesting thing, if you look at the diagrams on this, underneath this piece of tape is a connector on the red wire. It's interesting, these cables have little splices from the factory built into them, which I think is interesting. So, but there we go. Yeah, see this bump right here? There is a form of connector in there on the red wire, which is probably plus 12, but that takes and fixes the wires and provides some insulation for the control cables. Well, that's a form of control cable that's been repaired. Keep in mind, this end has still been cut off. I could splice it, but I think I'll wait until I put the cable in the boat and see where the pieces come out. This is the motor end, so I'll probably end up splicing it again into a much longer cable. So it goes in the control cable and battery cable box. Okay, that's the repair of the control cable. Well, here's the binnacle, also known as the gear shift and throttle assembly. First look at it. Wiring in here. It's got a cover, missing screws, trim switches right here, and cables. Mounting plates. If you notice the mounting plates, I'm missing one screw over here, and I see some there's some light corrosion where it mounted, and also there's screws that are missing. There's where's the rubber plug? Here it is. There's a rubber plug that goes in here like so to hide the screws. Well, they're gone. No screws. So what I've got to do is take and clean off the corrosion and go to the Yamaha dealer and see if they've got screws and do a little cleaning. So, I mean, you know, this isn't anything too exciting. I think this thing will clean up well. I don't see, there's a little bit here on the chrome, a couple little bumps, but other than that, it appears to be in relatively good shape. Cables go in the bottom. We'll have to take this apart to put cables on it, but that's still somewhat in the future. So right now it's just basically clean this up. You can see the aluminum corrosion. If you take a look here at the bottom, you'll see some of the aluminum corrosion. Although, yeah, that's what it appears to be. Just, phew. I mean, if you take a look here, yeah, I would have thought there would have been a form of sealant under this, but obviously not. So let me clean on this thing, and I'll get back to you here when I'm through. Well, I've got going further into the box. I've got the key assembly. Here's the back and all the various plugs. There's a set here for each engine, left and right. Some sort of warning buzzer here. Some sort of light switch here, which isn't used. So I've got that, and then I have a speedometer. This uses a pitot tube in the water. Believe it or not, I think I'm going to do away with this type of speedometer. Let me see here. I've got 2 tacks and then a fuel management gauge. Don't think I want to put I'll probably go to a what do you call it, speedometer, GPS based speedometer. But there is a speedometer, fuel management gauge. I think there's probably something missing for that. I'm looking in the box, I don't see the setup. And then 2 tachometers, one for each engine. So other than that, these just appear to be, just need to clean the dust off them, and they're probably ready to go. So that's where we sit with the gauges. I found the next 2 cables in the box. These are called dual fuse harnesses, and this is the reason. Inside there, if you take these ends off, you'll find that they pull off. There are a fuse in each one of these. Now, if you look at these, here they are, the 2 of them, dual motor setup. You will see that the dual fuse harness goes between the key switch assembly and the gauges right here. Here's the 2 fuses right there and there, and this comes up and feeds the gauges, which I've got laying right there. You can see the 4 gauges there, and the 4 gauges tack, multifunction speedometer, and this gauge is fuel management. And I don't think I have these right here. These are the flow meters that go to the engines. So that's my progress so far of identifying the cables for the Yamahas. We'll just keep on going and looking for more cables. So what I have here, these are the last cables. This is the, I just put a label on it, trim and oil harness right here. This is 26 feet long, and I want to tell you, these basically the cables snap into the tack gauge. If you look at the tack right here, it snaps into these connectors in the tap gauge. a tack gauge. I've got mosquitoes here, and they really don't want to come out. If you take a look, there is a tooth on this side, a tooth on the top, and a tooth on this side that holds them in. And these cables right here, let's see which end. This one basically goes in like this. Come on. You'll see there's a little slot. There's 4 pins and there's a little slot. Which end do I have here? Whoops, got the wrong end. That's the motor end. This right here, for example, this one goes in here, and this one slides in here like this. And so this goes to the tack gauge and to the oil and trim, and of course these wires all I'll hook into another cable somewhere here. But once you put them in, they don't want to come apart. That's for sure. Now the interesting thing, I'm going to use the tack gauges. These motors are analog, and the tack is integral to the oil system and the running of the motors, things like this. The other gauges, I looked at the fuel management and the speedometer. First thing is, pitot tubes have a tendency to break off. Plus you've got a tube that's bringing water up into the dash. I don't know, somehow I know it's worked for years, but I'd rather use a GPS type of gauge. The other approach for the fuel management, I looked at the price of using the Yamaha for fuel consumption, things like this. The gauges were $300 plus another $150 for the cables. That's for the senders and the cables to go to the gauge. It's actually, if I were to get a multifunction chart plotter, that's a combination instruments, chart plotter, depth finder, everything like this. The senders cost $209, and that'd be like a Ray Marine or a Simrad. So I'm thinking of getting a chart plotter and doing everything with the chart plotter. So I'll be using 2 gauges for the motors, and then getting a chart plotter, which of course would be another video. So this one, these are the last 2 cables in the box, and this kind of wraps up this video, the second half, episode 5. I hope you liked the episode. If you did, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.